Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media or reach out to Gary Jones, the founder of Grow Radio. Let's make this happen. So welcome to Mic Drop Moments, and I'm chatting with Sarah Ridge of the Sisterhood Networking Group. Sarah, introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and then we're going to delve into a little bit deeper about events and networking.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a treat to be coming to chat to you. Yes, as you rightly said, I'm Sarah. I'm the founder of the Sisterhood Networking Group. We're a networking group franchise with lots of branches popping up all over the place now, predominantly in Essex, because that's where I'm based. I live near Southend-on-Sea. But we are starting to spread the net a little bit wider now. I felt that there was a real gap when it came to more relaxed, more informal, more heart-led networking. If you have been in business for any amount of time, chances are you've tried networking on for size. And there are lots of different types of networking. They're the ones I call the scary ones, and we'll put them over to one side. And then I'm the other end of the scale, the not so scary one, where walking into a room full of strangers, it's a lot. I get it. And I was that person sat in the car with the sweaty palms and the heart racing and the, oh God, do I have to go in? And no one's going to want to talk to me kind of thing. And I wanted to change that and encourage everybody to come and network, because it really should be the lifeblood of your business, I think.
Absolutely. And when I first started my business, gosh, years ago, even before I started my business, networking was my thing. And I remember moving local to where I lived, and they said to me, go out networking. No training, no idea what I was supposed to be doing. And I just walked into I got to the event and I didn't go in the first time. I sat in the car and thought, I can't go in.
Exactly what I just said, yeah.
And there was another one where I just dived straight for the ladies' toilets because I just felt that was a safe sanctuary, and then I'd come out when the event had started. But slowly, I started to build my confidence, and then I really started to understand what networking was all about. And then I got the bug and then started organising my own events.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? You do have to put your big girl pants on, no matter what kind of networking meeting it is, whether it's one like mine, which is very, you'll get a hug when you arrive and we'll all look after you, or whether it is, the more corporate ones where you feel like you walk in and there's tumbleweed and everyone stops what they're doing and turns around to look at you, and then turns around to talk to the people that they were chatting to before and completely ignores you. And like, there's kind of everything in between. And I do think, it's so important to start building those relationships with other business owners. It might be that they're not going to be instrumental in helping to move things forward for you, but they might know somebody who is. There's so much to be had from finding some great networking groups.
I mean, going back, I think in 20, 30 years ago, you used to walk in, it was a wall of suits. I remember walking up to one group of men who were talking, and they looked at me, gone out, as if what did I want? And then one of them said, who are you here with? They assumed I was somebody's secretary, or worse still, I went to one and I think they thought I was part of the staff. So things have changed a lot for the better. And you run your own podcast, Sisterhood in Session, and I featured on that. And I do remember sharing the story that when I went to my bosses and told them I wanted to organise a networking event for women in business, and they said women in business would never take off. How were they? How wrong were they?
Because how wrong? The audacity to even say something, think something like that, let them say it out loud. Outrageous.
So you started the Sisterhood in Session podcast, and was that to support the networking, or did the podcast come first, or the networking come first? How did it work out?
Yeah, so the networking came first. So I'm an avid networker, a bit similar to you, Sandra. I've been networking for about 15 years. And then something beginning with P, the pandemic came along and kind of interrupted things. And when we came out the other side of that, I was desperate to get back out there again. But I'd never found a group that ticks all the boxes for me. So, and I was a bit shy about starting my own group. I'm not going to lie. It was my lovely husband who persuaded me to go and do my own thing. I wanted to actually go and find someone to host for. And he went, no, just start your own group. And yeah, so I did. The rest is history. It's a story. But I have a background in media. I was a radio presenter towards the end of my 20s, so quite a while ago now. I'm in my 50s now, and I loved being a presenter. And that did give me a bit of a background in terms of how to record things, how to edit things. And a podcast challenge was presented to me back in February last year, so February 2024. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh, I don't know. I didn't even really listen to podcasts. And I was just thinking, well, maybe it'll be interesting. I might want to be interested in doing it one day. And then by day 3, I was all in. And as we were going along with all the exercises and the training, and I was thinking, hang on a minute, I know what my show is. I meet these incredible women sat around my table, or meetings that I go to myself, because I'm an avid networker as well as hosting my own meetings. And I thought, these women need to be celebrated. Their stories need to be shared. They're sharing it around a table with me, which is very intimate, and they can be quite vulnerable with me and with all the ladies that we're together with. But I was encouraging them all to come and chat to me and share, where did you start? What have you been through, and how have you ended up doing what you're doing now? So no, the podcast followed on from the meetings. It was a natural progression. It feels like a jigsaw puzzle, and all like the pieces are kind of slotting in together.
I think, my story is similar in that, I was doing networking events before the pandemic, and everything got shut down. And basically the podcast then came. I first went to a podcast training course. It was a day's training course with my now podcast producer, actually. And in 2017.
Oh, wow.
I didn't launch it until July 2021. It only took me 4 years.
4 years to get around to it.
And they started off as coffee chats, really. It was just a 10-minute coffee chat with the women who were in my network and my membership. And I just thought it was a nice way to give them a chance to feel what it felt like to be on a podcast and to celebrate their stories. And that's how it all started.
Very similar, very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, I think all of these things, they feel a bit scary, don't they? If you're a small business owner, putting yourself out there, being brave and wanting to be visible and spread the word, for a lot of ladies, it's a big deal. I'm one of those people that says yes to things and then worries about how it's all going to happen afterwards. I love that saying. It's literally one of my mantras. I am, interestingly, I can be quite shy sometimes, but putting myself forward, wearing this kind of hat, because I do see myself as wearing lots of different hats and getting comfortable with the different hats that I wear. And I think, being able to really come out of your comfort zone and know that you can come and talk to people like me or you, and we're going to look after you. I say I love popping podcast cherries because ladies who come on and go, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and they're genuinely petrified. And then when they get to the other end of it, they're like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. It was literally just like having a chat with my best friend. And I was like, oh, I said that's what it would be like. So no, it is. I genuinely adore everything about it.
Okay, so you started the podcast around the sort of February, March time, and then suddenly you announce, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll run an event. And we both come from this events background. We always curse them, but we love them in equal measure. And so you decided to run Sisterhood in Session live. Now, you didn't just pick a local venue. You picked something quite unique.
Quite epic. Yeah, it was quite epic. Yes. So in the back of my mind, from the minute I said, right, this is the podcast, this is what it's going to be, and this is when it's going to launch, I was thinking this would be great to do live. I would love to do this live. And the cogs were already turning. And I was up in London with my family. I'd done a little bit of research and identified a couple of potential venues that might be suitable. And I said, I'm just going to go and check this one out because it's really close to where we are. We were in Liverpool Street at Spitalfields. And I thought it might tick all the boxes for me. And I remember walking in going, oh my God, this is where it needs to be. And it was such a cool venue. But yeah, obviously being London, it comes at a price. And yeah, and organising a big event, as you know, Sandra, because we were literally just talking about it, it comes with a lot of organisation, a lot of, it's stress in a nice way, because obviously the end result, assuming everything slots into place in the way that it's supposed to, is lovely. And I can very proudly say that last year, even though it was the first time I'd ever hosted anything like that, it all fell into place in the way that it should, and it was amazing. But yeah, it doesn't come without those heart palpitations in a slightly different way.
I think it's all the moving parts, of an event. When you're putting an event, people just rock up and think, oh, this is a nice day, and they all rave about it, and they're all things. What they don't realise is behind the scenes, we're running around like headless chickens, mentally clocking everything, making sure everything's happening at the right time. And people just come along. So I love attending other people's events because I can just sit back and think, I know what they're going through. I'm just going to enjoy this.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's that duck analogy, isn't it? Like on the surface, everything looks lovely and serene, and underneath, you're paddling away like mad to try and stay afloat. Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. I loved the whole experience though. But the run up to it was tricky because I didn't know anybody that had hosted anything like what I was putting together. So it wasn't, when I was selling it, and I did it all single-handedly first time round, I was saying to everybody, oh, I'd love for you to come. It wasn't a case of, oh, well, if you've been to so-and-so's event, it's a little bit like that, when you try and want to set that expectation, get them excited. And so I'm literally saying to people, I think it's going to be great. Not entirely sure yet, but come along for the ride. I'm sure it'll be a brilliant day. Fortunately, by lunchtime, everyone was coming over to me going, this is amazing. So that, and obviously I have that now to carry forward to this year's event. I have lots of obviously feedback and testimonials and lovely photos and videos and stuff. So, but yeah, it is a lot. But I think you and I are quite similar in that respect. That gives me a buzz. I thrive on that pressure a little bit.
You tweak it, you learn what works, what doesn't work, you tweak it a little bit, you try and bring something new in, something, make it a little bit different. So tell us about what attendees can expect this year, because I'm headline sponsor, so I want to know what to expect.
So I have to say, I don't think you'll mind me saying either, that when I was starting to put the wheels in motion for this year, I had one person in mind for my headline sponsor, and that was you. And genuinely, this is no word of a lie, you were the only person I messaged about being a headline sponsor. Unfortunately, you said yes. So it was just the dream scenario of the voice note going, Sandra, and you coming back to me going, yeah, I mean, so that was just amazing. Yeah, I knew I wanted it to be you this year. So I'm very, very grateful to having you alongside me. So the day is from 11 till 5 p.m. Obviously, you will arrive, do a bit of networking. You'll be greeted by some of the team. And then we are kicking the day off. This is such a treat. I've got an extra hour this year, so I had a little bit more time to play with. We are starting with a half an hour session with the lovely Chloe Westmore, who is a movement is medicine instructor. So, ladies, you will all be up on your feet, having a little shimmy before we get started. It's all about connecting with yourself. Music is so powerful. Obviously, being an ex-performer, I love music. I love dancing. And she's going to have everybody up on their feet, and we're all going to be buzzing from the word go. So we're setting the tone, and then the podcast interviews will start. You being one of them, very much looking forward to recreating ours. They're going to be 8 mini episodes in total, and I've picked a selection of ladies on purpose because all of your stories are incredible. You've all been on wonderful journeys. You all have been through challenges. Some are quite heartfelt and personal. And I know from last year, the lineup that I picked last year, ladies were coming up to me and saying, that really inspired me. It inspired me to go away and really get stuck into my business, or it enabled me to get over a real challenge that I was facing, because I'm listening to these ladies sharing really personal challenges that they faced. So really looking forward to introducing everybody to this fantastic lineup that I have, but also 12 breakout room sessions, so half an hour in each room, and there's going to be wellness sessions, personal development sessions, and business sessions, and each session is slightly different, offering everything from aligning your chakras to how to be a confident speaker, because you're also hosting a breakout room session for me as well. Obviously networking, there'll be plenty of opportunities to meet all the ladies that are coming along, chat to them. You get to go home with a lovely luxury goodie bag. There's yummy food. It's just, yeah. If you were thinking of, a really amazing day, that's nothing like maybe anything that you've been along to before. Because let's face it, events, sometimes it's a bit rinse and repeat, isn't it? Sometimes you feel like you get a workbook, you sit on a chair, it's an endless relay of familiar faces that you've seen before, and you go away going, well, I'm never going to look at that notebook again, and I've just spent a ridiculous amount of money. So I wanted to create something that wasn't crazy expensive, but was all about inspiring you, connecting you, and then sending you away buzzing. So yeah, super excited.
Sounds amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm being really selective on what I attend, but I've made no secret of the fact that I'm sponsoring quite a few events this autumn. So your message landed just as I was putting my plan together for this 90-day quarter, and it's all about, I'm sponsoring 6 events in the space of 90 days, and it's all strategic, it's all for a purpose. I've got objectives for attending each one is very different. And it just landed at the right time.
And you know what, that's another mantra of mine, is everything happens for a reason, and it's all going to work out in just the way that it's meant to. But also, I would also say, and I'm talking about this a lot with the ladies that network with me at the moment, is investing in yourself, because we're not very good at doing that, are we? We second guess everything. Think, oh, that's quite a big chunk of money to put into just one single day. But my advice would be, invest in the events that you feel really aligned with, the ones that really speak to you, that you think, yeah, I can see myself being there. I can see what I'm going to get from the day, and I'm going to come away and implement whatever it might be. Like I said, you might listen to the speakers, and it might just be that little phrase that they say that makes you go, oh, I haven't thought of it like that, or, oh, I've been through that, something similar, but look what she's doing, I can do the same thing.
That's how my business started. It was to inspire other women to think, oh, I could go for a coffee with her, or I could reach out to her on socials, and have a conversation. And, you can't be what you can't see. And if you can see somebody or hear somebody's story that's done something, and you think, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And it's that inspiration, isn't it? That's exactly that next thing. It's lighting that spark.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We all need a little bit of inspiration sometimes, and business is a roller coaster ride. There'll be some times where you feel like you're knocking it out the park, and you're on the crest of the wave, and then you'll wake up another morning and go, why did I decide to be a self-employed business owner? This is ridiculous. And everything in between. So we all need that. We all need connection. There's no doubt about that. Certainly, as a female, I think we all crave getting together in person. Online is great. It's great that obviously I'm chatting to you online today, and it's amazing to have that facility, but you can't beat being in a room full of like-minded ladies who have all got one another's backs, who all just want to be one another's biggest cheerleaders. And that's what will happen off the back of this event, is you'll all go away and look out for each other and support one another.
And that's lovely, because that's what I instill in my event. So I think it was shared values, very much aligned, very similar audiences. And I think that was just what clinched it for me. And I'm looking forward to some great conversations with some ladies I've maybe not even met yet, which would be amazing.
That's the exciting thing as well. And that's what I love about these events, is you never know who you're going to meet. I love going to things on my own. Don't get me wrong, I love, it's nice to have a buddy and travel in with somebody, but it's almost like a bit of a comfort blanket, and it can stop you from really getting to know those new faces who, let's face it, could be a new business partner, they could be a new client, they could know someone that could be a new business partner for you, and all, so many configurations. So yeah, I do get really excited if I'm going to an event and I'm going on my own. I'm like, oh, who am I going to meet today? You never know who it's going to be, do you?
No. Well, I'm going to share the links to this. So if you're listening to this and it's before the 5th of November,
6th of November, Thursday the 6th.
This before the 6th of November, wow, grab your ticket. If you're listening to it after the 6th of November, I'm
Next
sure
year, folks.
I'm sure there'll be a wait list or early bird tickets for next year. So yeah, it's one that
there will be. And I have a cheeky discount code that I can offer people, but I'll let you know that afterwards.
Okay, and we can pop that in the show notes as well. Okay, well, it's been great chatting to you, Sarah. I must ask you, because I ask all my guests this, to leave the audience with a golden nugget, a top tip or piece of advice. I call it your mic drop moment. What would you like to leave the audience with?
Oh God, there's so many. I talk about this all the time on my one, don't I? So if I'm ever asked that question, the one piece of advice or the one thing that I would always share is remember your why. Remember the reason why you decided to go on this crazy self-employed roller coaster ride, because when things get tough, and they will, if you haven't had a little blip yet, it's pretty much guaranteed one's coming at some point. Just remember the reason why you started. What was it that made you go, yep, that's it. Let's get the web address. Let's see if anyone's doing something similar. Let's get the name sorted. Let's get out there. Let's do it. What was the reason why? And keep that at the forefront of your mind if ever you are finding things a little bit tough.
And that's a great place to round it up. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. That's Sarah Ridge from the Sisterhood Networking Group. Thank you.
Thank you so much.